So in today's video, we're going to talk about why and how we format our laundromat's setup.
I feel design of the laundromat is very important. If you have the opportunity to design your laundromat, that would be great. Now, here's one thing. This was already designed this way when we took this place over. So you'll see 80s over here, 80s and 60s, and then you look all the way over there, there's the dryers, okay? The way we like to personally do it, I don't like the 80s all the way over here because they have to put their stuff into a basket, then they have to move it all the way over to the other side of the store for the dryers. That just doesn't make sense to me. So if I were to build this place, I would have them in rows going this way, and then it'd be easy just to shoot the basket straight on over, and then I would have the big dryers next to the 80s, closest to the 80s. The main reason to format the laundromat the way you want is so the customers will have ease of use. So mainly, you want them to be able to take their clothes from the machine and go straight to the dryer and close to a folding table. You want plenty of folding, you want plenty of seating. If you don't have enough seating in your laundromat, then people get kind of frustrated because then they have to look somewhere else they'll go outside in their car, or they might leave and they leave their clothes unattended, and then they forget about them, and then you'll be left to make sure that you put them aside. So we want to make sure that we have plenty of folding. Folding is very important. When you pull clothes out of the dryer, you have to have plenty of folding. And as you'll see on this back side, we have folding here, of course, folding here, and we have seating down here, but we built this thing right here so when people take their stuff right out of the dryers, you can take your stuff and take it straight to folding tables. The main thing I see people do wrong when they're building a laundromat is not allowing the customer to have easy access from the washer to the dryer, or they'll make the aisles too thin. You need butt room. Here, I'll show you. Say for example, and this is one reason why we didn't put washers on this side, because we wouldn't have the room. So if I put a 30 here, and then I put a 30 here, you would have this much space, and if the two doors hit you, and then you have a person behind you who's trying to take clothes out, it's virtually impossible. So it's very frustrating. Well, our Versailles Row location, if you buy a laundromat or take one over and it has antiquated equipment, if you can turn it to make aisles to where it's easy to get to the dryers, do so. But if you can't, you may have to eliminate stuff on one side to make it easier for the customer. And that's the main thing. Think of the customer when you're building a laundromat. Think of the customer, put that first and foremost. Don't think, well, what I would do. No, think, what would your customer want? What would the customer need? What's the ease of use for the customer? The perfect spot for the attendance station when you're building a laundromat would be right at the front door, in our opinion, because when people come in, especially if they're going to do drops, they don't want to walk on the other side of the store to drop their clothes. Well, right here, this isn't the perfect spot, but we're making it work out, and people don't have to walk that far. They're walking about 10 feet to the scale. So that's okay here. Now, if you're gonna go with a laundromat and it's not gonna be attended, and you're building it from scratch, make yourself enough room in case you ever wanna add one. But if you don't want an attended laundromat and you use mag locks, that'd be nice and easy to do as well. The beautiful thing is when we got this laundromat, it wasn't a laundromat, it was just an empty shell. So we just built it from scratch. Since I had the opportunity, me and Kelly decided we're gonna build this exactly the way we want it. And so we want a big space back here, this like a tech bar. So you can put your computers up here, and we have USBs on the wall or whatever. And then vending, you have kids area back in here, games, ATM, and some tables. Plenty of seating. We have plenty of seating up front. When we were building this, we thought of seating and folding, seating and folding. What do people want most in a laundromat? Seating and folding. And then with that being said, we like rows that come this way. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bulkheads with washers on each side. This is called a bulkhead, in case you don't know. And inside there's where all the plumbing is, and the electrical is up top here. And then we want the dryers to be horizontal to the vertical washers all the way down. So if you have the smaller dryers at the end here, so you'll have the 30-pound dryers, and then you go to the 45-pound dryers, which will be suited for the 30 pounds, 40 pounds, and the 60s and 80s, and then we have the 75-pound dryers over here. If I had this to do over again, me and Kelly were talking about, we would have eliminated the 20-pound washers and the top loaders, but we didn't. It's funny how we've been in this business for 20 years and we still see changes within the industry. And I think the main change is the fact that when people walk in this door, the first thing they do, they drop their clothes off at the 80s and the 60s. And the 20s and top loaders are usually an afterthought. And that's where the industry's going. Now, people have been using top loaders since the beginning of laundromats, of course. But I've noticed in the last 5 years that top loaders, people aren't upset if you don't have them. They used to be, and they used to be upset you don't have enough top loaders. Now they don't even care, and that's great. So that's where the industry's going. But if you look in the middle, so if you get your clothes out of the dryer, plenty of room to fold. And you have your own space. This is the key in folding, in my opinion, that this is your own area. No one's coming over it. You're not sharing with anybody else over here. These folding tables aren't next to each other really, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make it to where the folding is not next to each other, so everybody's got their own general space. And then we wanted to put shelves on top as well. When we build these laundromats, we don't like a lot of do not signs. I've been over that. But we do like signs with taste, and we like signs that show people how to without being in your face. So, when you're looking at how to use a credit card on the machine, of course, we're going to be changing that over to LaundryWorks. That's signs there. And then we want to explain, this is the 80-pound capacity washer. So when you're coming in and you look up on the wall, you see 80s, 40s, 60s, 30s, 20s. And so you can look all the way down through there and you'll be able to see from the door on what you want to do. And then if you come down here, we'll like maybe put like the wash program that we have going on. And then we want to provide a lot of TVs. They're not on right now. I don't know why, but I guess people don't want them on. But we have 5 TVs in this particular store. And then over here, we have a graphics up on the wall that shows Kentucky, our pride of Kentucky. And so it shows the graphics going down through here. That's about it.
Okay, so this store is a lot smaller than the one previously described by Jodan. This store we've arranged similar but on a smaller scale. When we first obtained this store, it had dryers along this side and the washers were literally along that side, kind of like a bowling alley. Since we like the washers in this particular way, because we do like the large washers in the front and we like them to go down in order, we had the plumbing diverted and completed to make it the way we want it to. So on this side, we have all the washers and all the dryers. This store is a little different. We had a little extra room, wanted to add a few more washers. As you can see, the 3 on the end here are the new combos that Hipsch has. On the bottom, you have the washer, and on the top, you have the dryer. Customers like those because it's easy for them to take their wash and flip it straight to the dryer. Thanks for watching this video. If you found this video informational and you like it, please like and subscribe. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.